A civil society organization under the umbrella body of the Initiative for Citizens' Rights, Accountability and Development has put forward several questions begging for answers after it launched an investigation into suspected fraudulent transactions in the FCT Secondary Education Board management. TOS News correspondent Rose Audu has the details.
While briefing newsmen in Abuja, the executive director of the Initiative for Citizens' Rights, Accountability and Development, Lukman Hassan, said an investigation the group carried out in secondary schools in the FCT finds that the administration of the immediate past chairman of FCT's Secondary Education Board, Yahaya Musa Muhammad, imposed an illegal and an unauthorized fee of 1,500 naira per session on students.
Each school in the FCT has its own PTA, which attends individually and exclusively to the needs of the particular school in their children/wards attend. It is our findings that this PTA operates independent of and in isolation from one another. The PTAs in FCT have never had and presently do not have a central umbrella body, union or association.
The group therefore seeks an answer to when and where parents of all the affected secondary schools in the FCT reached the agreement to levy 1,500 naira on themselves, as stated by the past chair of the FCT Secondary Education Board, Alhaji Yahaya Musa Muhammad, during a radio interview.
Consequently, it is curious how, when, where, and why these independent PTAs came together to agree on imposition of 1,500 naira on themselves and paying such an amount directly into bank account of the private consultancy firm. We also want to ask again, who pays the consultant? How much is it paid, or how much is the consultancy service contract or agreement worth? Do the various school PTAs that make this payment, or who according to Alhaji Mohammed came up with the idea, know how much in total they are paying to the consultants? You can cumulatively look at it. We have numbers of children in secondary schools in FCT. They pay 1,500 naira per session, and this goes into a private account. We want to know the amount and how much is this consultant paid.
Hassan further noted that ICROTs during the investigation spoke with school principals and some PTA's executives in the affected schools within the FCT and find that the fee was imposed on them and they were not given any option to decide in favor of it or not.
Does the FCT SEB or the Education Secretariat have legal power to generate revenue by unilaterally levying fees on indigent students and their overburdened parents, and then going ahead to expend such fees, however, and whichever way they deem necessary, in total disregard to extant financial regulations and all legal framework governing SEB? By the way, who appointed the consultant? The consultant is a private company, so we want to know who appointed this consultant. Was there a competitive bidding process for these all-important consultancy services of checking results before it was awarded or given to eventually choosing consultant, that is Sukami Consulting Limited? When was this bidding done? Was there an advertisement in line with our Public Procurement Act? We want to know this. Was a valid contract agreement executed for the said consultancy service, and if yes, who are the parties to it? Is it the PTAs that they claim are the one that levy the fees on themselves, or the FCT SEB? We want to know. In other words, who did Sokami Consulting Limited sign the consultancy service agreement with? Is it the FCT SEB, the FCT Education Secretariat, or the FCT Secondary School put together, or the PTAs of all the FCT schools?
The group therefore called on the Minister of FCT, Malam Bello Muhammad, to beam his searchlight on the activities of the Alhaji Yahaya Musa Muhammad-led FCT SEB with a view to unraveling the corruption and illegality involved in the imposition of fees on secondary school students in the FCT. Rose Audu, reporting for TOS News.